This is a video looking at the respiratory system. So the respiratory system is basically responsible for gas exchange. It's an important system because it keeps oxygen and wastes coming in and out of our body regularly. And it consists of the following. So we've got the mouth/nose. Okay, so air first enters, in order for gas exchange to occur, air first enters the nose or mouth, and it makes its way into what's called the trachea, also known as the windpipe. Okay, this is behind your esophagus, okay, where food goes down. I should say the esophagus lies behind the windpipe, right in front of the spine. And then the trachea branches off to two sort of sub-branches. Think of this as like a tree. Think of the trachea as being like the main, the trunk. The trunk branches off to two branches. These are called bronchi or bronchus, okay, for singular, bronchi for plural. And these bronchi further subdivide into what are called bronchioles, okay, sub-branches. And then finally, at the very end, you've got what are called alveoli. Okay, you can think of like the fruit coming off the tree. Alveoli, alveolus for singular. Okay, these are tiny sacs, about 1 cell thick. And an interesting fact, we've got about 500 million alveoli in both of your lungs. So there's many of these little things, and they're responsible for gas exchange. These critical components of the respiratory system. Gas exchange. So how does gas exchange occur? Well, it occurs via what's known as diffusion. And diffusion is basically the process of where something goes from high concentration to low concentration. Okay, think of like perfume. If you spray perfume in one side of a room, one corner of the room, there'll be a high concentration where you are spraying it, and there'll be a low concentration initially on the other side of the room. Give it enough time, and you'll find that the perfume will disperse and spread throughout the room. Okay, that's diffusion. Similarly, let me draw, this is not really an accurate diagram, but anyway, draw a blood vessel here. And let me draw an alveolus, blood vessel. So initially, when you inhale, there's a high concentration of oxygen, okay, going through the bronchioles into the alveoli. And there's initially a low concentration of oxygen in the blood vessel, in this particular blood vessel. So being alveoli being, they're so good at what they do because they're only like 1 cell thick, which means that the walls are thin enough in order for oxygen to diffuse to travel through into the blood vessel, okay, through diffusion. So that's how gas exchange occurs, and vice versa. Carbon dioxide comes out through the blood vessel and gets exhaled through every breath out you take. And alveoli also have a large surface area, okay, in order to effectively absorb oxygen and get rid of carbon dioxide, making it like a sponge, basically. And it's also worth noting that the respiratory system and the circulatory system, they're linked, inherently linked, okay, because you need to get in oxygen through the respiratory tract and then into your blood, and then the circulatory system takes over.